We are live and you are welcome. You're welcome to our webinar for today. And today we are going to be looking at probably one of the most important subjects that you as a young professional we need to consider. All right, so we're just going to give everyone a minute to join the live stream, and we are going to set off without wasting we're not going to waste any time at all. All right, so if you are connected, please go ahead and help us share the live stream. So we're just going to wait for a minute while we wait for others to connect, but we're not going to waste any time. So the subject we are considering today is very, very important. You can send the links out to as many people as possible as we commence the training. So let's hit the ground running. All right, let's hit the ground running. Now, I want to believe that for most of us that are joining this live stream or who will be watching this video after now, that at some point or the other we have been opportuned to join or to be invited for in job interviews. And in my own experience in the last few years, one of the things that I have found, which may be very uncomfortable for some of you, is that most professionals do not fail interviews because they are unqualified. Actually, when you engage with many of the young professionals who come for these interviews, you find that they are actually quite proficient, they are very good at what they do, but for some reason, they didn't pass that interview. All right. And one of the reasons you would find is that a lot of candidates, they fail the interview because they talk too much. All right. They talk too much, they say the wrong things, they don't even realize what the HR officer or manager is actually hearing them say. So you think that what you are saying actually makes a lot of sense to the recruiter. Okay. And let me tell you, every wrong answer that you give to that panel is sending a wrong signal. Okay. If that interview was scheduled for 30 minutes, somewhere in the range of 10, 15 minutes, they've already made up, their mind, and they've decided your fate. Now you may be praying and you might even be fasting. But I want to tell you that when you come into that interview hall, there are so many things that we are looking for, and I'm going to be sharing some of those things with us tonight. Okay, so tonight I'm going to show you the answers that quietly destroy your chances and the powerful responses that you can give that makes the hiring manager say, this is the person that we are looking for. All right, so this is the one. I mean, I've seen that aha moment when we are in some kind of panel and you just hear probably the MD or some person in the panel just say, this is the person, that we have been looking for. So let me start off by by throwing this one at you. I had the opportunity to interview a lady. She appeared to be very good I mean, someone highly recommended her, and she knew the job. Okay, and she committed maybe the I call it the first sin of interviews. Okay, and I'm going to I'm going to tell you this, and I want you to note this. Anytime you go for an interview and the HR manager says to you, please relax, make yourself comfortable. This is just going to be a very brief chat. That person is lying to you. That HR manager is lying to you. That statement is a setup, it's a trap. Don't fall for it. What the HR man what the HR manager is actually saying is, I am going to relax. You will be on the hot seat. So in this particular case, I told the lady, you can relax, you can feel comfortable. Let's just have a chat. And before I knew it, she actually got very comfortable. And whenever I made a statement, she would say, as in, you get it. She was, I was not finding it funny. Of course, I already knew she had failed the interview. Now, can I be very honest with you? Technicality, based on technicality, she knew the job. The lady knew the job. I mean, I tested her, she knew the job. She would have been that type of person that would have been recruited, and you say, okay, you have a very good hand. But what was her crime? She got very familiar too easily. Now, while this training is going on, you can put your questions in the chat room, and immediately I'm done, I'm going to go through them, and I will answer as many as I can. So she didn't. She was too familiar, and because she didn't understand the first crime a person can commit in an interview session. Okay, so I'm saying this to say that when you go for interviews and they tell you you can relax, please don't relax. Start praying. When they tell you, oh, don't worry, we are one family, that's another lie. You are not their, you are going to, if you get the job, you will be their colleague. You are not family. All right. So some of you are already realizing the mistakes that you already made. So I'm going to be looking at, as if I can, 10, you know, 10 common interview questions that candidates completely blow up and they make a mess of. All right. These questions are technical questions. They are trick questions. And some of you are going to realize when I start that you've probably been asked some of these questions at some point. Now, the goal of these sessions that we are running on Wednesdays is to make us ready. All right? Prepare us. The goal of this session we are having tonight is so that even before you show up for the interview, you can actually rehearse, you can practice your answers, you can rehearse everything you are going to say. Most likely, if they ask you, if the HR manager pushes a question to you that is not among these HR related questions, maybe you may just get one or two, but most likely anything you get might fall into these 10 categories. So let's go straight into this. The first question you are most likely going to hear, usually that's what we start with. We will ask the candidate, can you please tell me about yourself? So if you've if you've been asked this type of question before, please just let me know, uh, because I need some of you to help me confirm that uh, that that you've really been exposed to this. You are going to hear the question. Please tell me, if your name is Fola Shade, you say, Fola Shade, please tell us about yourself. And the mistake that you are going to make is to start telling us your personal story. Oh, my father was a pilot. Oh, I've always had a dream. You see the way you see the way I'm even laughing, eh? You see the way I'm even laughing. I'm fine. You see the way I'm even laughing is terrible. Like you start talking about your childhood story when you traveled to Kano and you saw a lawyer and then you decided you wanted to become a lawyer. uh, Look, you just failed that question. Some people take it an extra mile by repeating the all the details that are already on their CV. Oh, I went to Abubakar Tafabalewa University Staff School in Bauchi. I attended Command Secondary School in Ibadan. I was privileged to also, graduate from the University of Ibadan, where I studied zoology. Listen to me. The moment you go that route, please hear me. And I'm not saying maybe. This is not a personal opinion. I am telling you, the moment you go that route and you are tempted to repeat what is already on your CV, you have failed that question. The moment you start telling us about how you saw a video of Elon Musk or Bill Gates and you decided you wanted to become a computer program, a programmer, or you wanted to be able to write Python or JavaScript, you have failed that question. All right. What are we really looking for as HR managers? Uh, okay, before we go into what we are really looking for, let me tell you the implication of that answer. If you get the answer wrong, or you come off and you say, "Oh, I've always had a dream to be a pilot. Oh, I've always wanted to work in this organization. Oh, um, when I was growing up as a child, you look, we don't want to hear all those things. You are wasting our time. The implication of a wrong answer, number one, is that you are telling the HR manager you lack self-awareness. You don't know where you are. You are in an interview session. We don't care where you come from. All right? We don't care where you come from. We don't want to know your childhood dream. Your dream is to become a doctor. Keep that. Those stories are for children. You are here now. You have 5 minutes to convince us that you know what you are doing. That's it. So the moment you start talking about your childhood dream, you are telling the HR manager you don't even know where you are. You lack self-awareness. Number two, you have very poor communication and prioritization skills. You look at all the options in front of you and you pick the wrong one. You cannot communicate. That means you don't listen well, you don't understand the question, and you are giving wrong answers. All right. So these are, you know, things you really need to consider, because some of us, and I've been asked this question before and I failed it. Most people I know have failed this question at some point or the other. So what is the correct response to a question like this? You want to tell us, please hear what I'm about to say. You want to tell the HR manager or that panel what is it exactly that you are doing now, or something you've done in your previous work experience, and how does it tally with this role you are applying for. If the role you are applying for is that of an accountant, and you've been an accountant in a microfinance bank, or you've been an accountant in, let's say, a multinational, and this particular role is maybe chief auditor. You are coming as a chief auditor. We want you to tell us tell us about yourself, means tell us how your previous work experience connects to the role you are applying for and how you are going to bring value. So let me read this out for those who may want to take some note. I am a result driven operations officer with 5 years experience in process improvement and team coordination. In my current role, I have reduced turnaround time by 20%. I am now looking to bring my problem solving skills to a more growth focused organization like yours. What are you trying to tell us? You are trying to present yourself as a solution under 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes to present yourself as a solution. All right. Why is this particular answer very strong? Because it shows clear professional identity. Please understand what we are looking for when you come for the interview. Your answer shows clear professional, you know who you are professionally. Number two, you mention your experience. I have worked as an accountant, I've worked as a teacher. Whatever it is you've done, you mention it. Don't assume that don't assume that the HR officer is going to be helping you. All right. Well, if I'm the one, I'll help you, but don't bank on that. You know. Then you also use those. You take those experience and you tailor it into the employer's need. Now, every time an employer puts out a job advert, it is because that company has a problem and they need to recruit somebody to solve the problem. They are not interested in you. The only reason why you are in that interview panel is because they are looking for someone to solve a problem. So when everything you are, whatever it is you are doing in that hall or online in a Zoom interview meeting, in that virtual meeting, you are trying to sell yourself as a solution, not to tell us you have a dream. All right. So you are also what's the implication again here? It's you demonstrate that you understand personal value. You know your worth. You communicate strategically. You are likely going to be, you know, effective in meetings, in reports, and in leadership roles. That is the. Can you? I want you to imagine all your previous responses or answers and compare it with what I just read you. So maybe some of us might still need to go back and watch this video again. But I am telling you, this is something you really need to, you will rehearse it, you will practice it. What are we talking about? You talk about the fact that you are result oriented. You talk about your experience. I've been an accountant for X number of years, or whatever your role is. I'm a project manager, product owner, product design, you know, whatever. And you tie that to the role you have applied to. You show the value, talk about how your current role has helped your current organization or the last organization you worked for. You have 2 minutes to make that presentation. What is the second question that I find a lot of candidates struggle with? They are unable to answer these questions, you know, effectively. It's a popular question. The interviewer asks you, "What are your weaknesses?" Recently, I had to interview some people, and when I every time I asked this question, what I heard was um, nothing. You know, I mean, are you supposed to report yourself? I mean, I understand that, but you see, this is what you hear some people say. Oh, I don't have any weaknesses. Some will say, by the grace of God, I have, I am a thorough person. Now, please, you are, except you are, except you are being interviewed to become a pastor in a church. Please, I beg you, don't come to any interview panel before them and say, by the grace of God. I'm just warning you, sincerely. Um, well, I will not take kindly to it. All right, because what you are telling me is that by the time I recruit you, you will turn this office to a prayer ground. You won't do anything. All right, and you don't even know if there's a Muslim or somebody of another religion who may not be comfortable. You want to be as neutral as possible. By the time you get into that office and you find that there are, maybe they have a fellowship, Yes, you can join them, you can be active, you may even become the president of the fellowship, but you are coming into uncharted territories. You have to be very careful, except, of course, you are recruiting, you are applying to become a pastor. So when you hear questions like, oh, what are your weaknesses? Can you tell us one of your weaknesses? Some people move from one extreme to the other. Someone says, oh, I don't have any weaknesses. By the grace of God, I know who I am in Christ Jesus. The other person will go to the extreme and say, well, sometimes I wake up late. I sometimes I get to the office late. My house is usually very far, so I usually get to the office late. Now, both of you are sincere, but that's not what the manager, HR manager, wants to hear. Now, what is the implication of this wrong answer? Number one, poor emotional intelligence. You are telling us, the people on that panel, when you tell us that, oh, I don't have any weakness, what you are saying is that you don't even know who you are. There's nobody that is perfect, including the person that is asking that question. All right. You lack emotional intelligence. You may be arrogant. We may see you as someone that is arrogant. How can you say, I don't have any weakness? By the grace of God, I don't have any weakness. But God is not in this panel. It's just five of us. All right. We there is that question is a we are trying to trap you. You must understand that every question being posed at you or to you could potentially be a trap. So you need to understand, what is the HR manager actually asking me? When we ask you, what are your weaknesses? You know, let me give you an example of what you can say. Let's assume you're a team leader in your current role. You can say something like, oh, I used to struggle with delegating tasks because I wanted everything to be done perfectly. I have been working on, I realized this is a weakness, and I have been working on this by setting clearer expectations, trusting my team members, and this has actually improved our team productivity. What are you saying here? You are answering the question without shooting yourself in the leg or in the foot. You are trying to tell them that I overwork. All right. I can work like 26 hours a day. All right. And you know that this could be a weakness. All right. It's not actually a weakness in a sense, but it's a weakness. So, but anybody that wants to recruit you most likely wants someone that works very hard. Nobody wants to hire a lazy person. So you can see the way you explain your weakness. I like to do everything by myself. I don't want people to disappoint, so I like to do everything. They will be they will- the your new employer will be smiling because the last person that was fired there, it doesn't work hard. So your weakness will now be interpreted as a strength. Because what that means is that if eventually every member of your team had to go home on some emergency and you are left alone on that desk, you can still work. So it's a weakness, but it's actually a strength. All right. So we in HR we refer to this as safe weakness. SAFE. If you have a question, just put it in the comment section. I'm going to pick it up. All right. So it also shows that the candidate is open to feedback and personal development. And let me tell you something off the bat. Most times when people come for interviews, I cannot tell you how many times I have had to tell them to calm down. A lot of them jitter, and I think it's natural. All right. I think it's natural. So you should pray to meet a a recruiter like me, all right, because I will calm you down, you know. Um, except in very rare cases, I might even be, I might even like try to help you answer your questions, all right. Because for me, I know that most people don't give their best during interviews. So the first thing we do is we try to make them calm down, all right. So if you are looking at the screen, you will see that question, what HR wants to see. What we want to see here is, how do you reflect on yourself? Can you improve on yourself? Do you have what it takes to personally improve? When we ask you that question, we are not asking you to tell us, oh, I normally break cups. So there was a particular person that was asked that question because he didn't know what to say. He now started talking about things happening in his home. He said, sometimes when I take a glass cup, I shatter a lot of cups. What does see whatever you are telling us must be related to that job you are applying for. How does not being able to cook, except you are applying for the role of a cook, what it doesn't have anything to do with what we are talking about. You are trying to be wise, but we also know that you are only in self-denial. All right. The third question you are going to get is a very powerful question, and a lot of people don't even know what to do about that question. And what is that question? Why should we hire you? And let me tell you, even as an HR person, when I've been asked this question, I thought about it. Like, why should you hire me now? Can't you see that? Can't you see that I am young, I'm agile, I speak well, But you see, it's also another trick question. Okay. And of course, what the HR manager wants to see here is, do you understand the problem we are facing in this company? See, some of these things I'm sharing with you, you need to, if you can, please write or go back and watch this video. Why should we employ you? You are here, I'm looking at you. Why should I employ you? Because I'm going to interview 5 people who are applying for the same position. Why should I take you? All right. So somebody will say, oh, I need this job. I have a wife and 5 children. I've not had a job for 1 year now. If you can employ me, I'll be very grateful. And I'm sure that sounds very Nigerian. Okay. Somebody will say, oh, why should I employ you? He said, because I'm hardworking and dedicated. But you are telling me, I don't have evidence of your hard work. And I don't have the HR manager is meeting you for the first time. I am telling you how some of the sincere questions or answers we give, thinking that we are being honest, those were the answers that disqualified us. Oh, I am hardworking. I am. The moment you say I am hardworking, you must show us evidence. How many projects did you handle in your last job? In the last, period of review, how many questions, how many projects did you handle? How many teams did you support? You can't just come up and say, um, it's just like a cat telling everybody in the neighborhood, I don't. If anywhere I see fish, I don't touch it. You can ask anybody. If you put me in the midst of 200, a basket of fish, when you come back in 2 days, you will count. You will still see 200 pieces. Even the person interviewing you knows you are lying. How can a cat tell everybody that he doesn't eat fish? Or a monkey telling the whole community that he doesn't like bananas? So when we ask you, why should we hire you? What are we expecting? And please hear a professional answer here. So I'm assuming that that question is being posed to me. All right. I'm going to say something like, I am aware that you need someone who can manage tight deadlines and improve the workflow. My background in coordinating cross-functional teams and delivering projects ahead of schedule directly fits that need. Can you see what we are saying here? You took your experience in, maybe you're a project manager, any whatever it is you do now, and you try to let them see that you are aware of the problems that the organization is having, which has necessitated advertising that role. So why is that answer very strong in HR? Because that answer directly and points at the employer's needs. There's a reason why the employer wants you, and you have pointed to that. Then it also connects your skills to outcome. I understand the problem. I am able to, there are some organizations, they are always working with very tight deadlines. Everything is always very fast there, fast paced. I understand the environment. I will be able to work with this type of tight schedules, and I'll be able to deliver as at when due. All right. So, what is that telling us? The candidate is presenting himself as a problem solver. All right. He's presenting himself. You must present yourself as a problem solver, that you are someone that will begin to add value as quickly as possible. Question number 4. This one is very important, and I can tell you this one is where many people fail. Question number 4. Why did you leave your last job, or why are you leaving your current job? Now, if you left the last job because you fought with the manager and you broke his nose, that is already a problem. If you let me just go straight to this. Let me tell you the wrong response. What you can do to destroy yourself when this question is thrown at you is to say something like, my boss is a terrible person. My boss is a devil made from hell. He kills my passion. He frustrates me. We were not asking you about your former boss. We said, why did you leave your last job? Or why are you planning to leave your current job? That's what we are asking you here. All right? And you may not even know why we are asking you that question. That is the wrong answer. Oh, my company, they play a lot of politics there. Please, I came to tell you, this same company you are coming to, the we operate high level politics. Anywhere you see 2 or 3 people are gathered, there's politics, because somebody must be the head and somebody must be the tail. There must be politics. So when you are telling us in the interview, because you think you are a very sincere person, that, oh, I like places where they have very healthy work culture, people are very friendly, they are like family, you have gotten the wrong answer. The answer you are giving us seems to suggest to the recruiter that you have a very negative attitude. It also suggests that maybe one day when you also leave us, you will say something bad about us. All right? Please, when you come for interview, we don't want the truth. We want the truth professionally. You have to understand this thing. We want the truth professionally. All right. I hope somebody heard that. So this person that is complaining about his organization may come up tomorrow and also complain about us. So we are not going to recruit him. And that also speaks to poor professionalism and discretion. So what is the right answer here that most likely would bring you out as a star in that interview? You could say something like, I have learned a lot in my current role, but I am ready for broader opportunities and responsibilities that align better with my long-term career goals. So let me repeat that. I have learned a lot in my current role, but I am ready for broader responsibilities with growth opportunities that align better with my long-term career goals. So what you are saying here is that I see this new organization as the next step for me in advancing my career. All right. So why is this particular question correct? Why do we like this type of response? Because it shows us that this person shows ambition without bitterness. You are ambitious, but you are not bitter. You are very professional. You are respectful. You have what we call positive framing. All right. This person is emotionally mature. He has what we call low drama risk. Low drama risk. This person is focused on growth and he wants to contribute something to the new organization. All right. So let me ask a question here. If you're in the comment section, uh, between question 1 and 4, which one, looking back now, which one do you think you you remember that you were asked this question and you didn't answer it too well? So just put the the question or the number of the question in the comment section. All right. I would like to see that this is connecting with someone uh, that is in this meeting right now. So if you if your first answer the first question, tell me about yourself. If you completely blew up that question, just type 1, you know, or that point, or you can put 2. What are your weaknesses? So, so if you also said if you also remember that you also said you don't have any weaknesses, so please tell us, let us know who you are. All right. Now let's go to the 5th question that you are most likely going to get when you come for your interview. And in fact, you cannot escape this one. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Okay. This one, you may think that um, you may think that maybe the person here loves you. The person asking that question loves you. It's a very powerful question, but it is also a very tricky question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Somebody said to me, he said, I don't know. Only God knows tomorrow. Now, even as someone who is, I understand that answer. But you see, we are not in the church. If you tell your pastor that, your pastor will probably say, Hallelujah, praise the Lord. But you are talking to your potential new employer. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Ah, I don't know, but I would like to work with you. Only God knows tomorrow. Or, like somebody once said, while the MD was seated in the interview, in the next 5 years, I want to be the MD of this bank. So what you want, you want the MD to be fired, and you want him to employ you. Eh? I know you are a man of faith, but please slow down. The moment you start throwing all these jargons, I don't know. Only God knows tomorrow. I want to be the president of Nigeria. I want to be the MD, the MD of this company after the current MD. Let me tell you why your answer may be wrong. Your answer shows lack of direction. You are beginning to threaten the interviewer. Because if the person whose role you are interested in is also uh, on seat, you have become a threat. You've not even gotten the job. You're already a threat. All right. Um, what other you suggest that you may be very unstable. That person may be suggesting that is very unstable. Okay, there is something we expect from you when we ask this type of question. What is the correct response here? I see myself growing into, let's say, a chartered accountant, an accounting expert, taking up leadership responsibilities while contributing meaningfully to the organization's long-term objectives. Why is this answer very important? You are showing ambition, but with loyalty. You are balanced and realistic. One day you could actually become the MD of that company, but you are also a very realistic person. And very importantly, when you are asked this question, you must align your personal growth to the company's success. And I hope somebody is hearing this. When you are, you see, you know, you will be shocked at some of the things I've heard, and you begin to ask yourself, didn't this person know he was coming for an interview? All right. Somebody has once come for an interview, and she spent her time trying to educate me on why her role as a sisters coordinator in a fellowship on campus mattered. But I am not recruiting for the role of sisters coordinator. So I guess maybe the person must have gone online to look at my profile and found that, okay, if I play this type of card, the person may like me. Well, I failed that. I failed that. Um, so I want you to understand what we are looking for here. We want to see that the candidate has vision. We want to see that the candidate intends to stay with the organization long term. And please, these points are very important. We want to see that in the next 5 years, 6 years, you can still be with us and grow with us and rise with us, develop with us. We don't want someone who just come in and take a salary raise and in 6 months runs off to another company. So when you are being asked that question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What we want to know is, are you willing to stay with us, grow with us, or are you someone that may leave us very quickly? Okay, if you are getting some value, please go to the comment section. I can see and just type something. Let me see what I can see. Someone is saying, oh, question one. What do we have in question one? Tell us about yourself. Question four, question one. You see, question one is the best place to make a very strong impression about yourself. The moment you get that first question wrong, the chances are very high you will start misbehaving. Once you don't get that question right, that first question, please tell us about yourself. And you start telling us about your dream, how you wanted to be a pilot, how you swam in a you climbed the Mount Kilimanjaro, and then you decided you wanted to study geography. Once you tell us all of that story, you have failed. Most likely, all your other answers will start having problems. All right. So let's go to the next point, and I think this is six. All right, six. Tell me about a time you had conflict at work. Now, this question is very powerful because most times people want to present themselves as very good candidates. You are you are easy to work with. You really don't want to show yourself as someone who could be um, a problematic person at work. But now a question has been pushed to you. Tell us about a time you had conflict at work and how did you manage it? Okay. Let me tell you some of the um, wrong answers you can give. While trying to explain the conflict, you overly blame the other party. All right. You describe the situation, and there's someone in that story that is taking all the blames. You have to be very careful about that. Okay. Or you don't want to sound aggressive. You don't want to sound aggressive. That question is very powerful. We want to know if you are someone with low emotional intelligence. Okay. So you don't want to go off and say things like, oh, my boss told me to do something and I told him I will not do it because it was against the policy. And when he insisted, I reported him to HR and escalated the matter to internal control. And then he was called and sanctioned, and I saved the day. Now, as wonderful as your whatever it is you did was, whoever is recruiting is already thinking that this one is a person that will have to put out a lot of fires around. So they just say, oh, that was wonderful. But when they tell you that was wonderful, a wonderful response, don't believe it. You already failed that question. It is the work of HR to make you feel comfortable. But when you leave that Zoom meeting or Teams meeting, they are going to tell you your real scores. So don't even believe the smile of that lady talking to you um in that panel, on that panel. All right. So what is the correct response? I had a disagreement. This is just an example. I had a disagreement with a colleague over task priorities. I requested a one-on-one discussion, listened to their concerns, and we agreed on a compromise that improved collaboration. Can you see that answer? Can you see that answer? What did you do? You showed that you showed calm conflict resolution. You were able to resolve the situation without escalating it. Okay. You are also able to demonstrate powerful listening skills. All right. You are able to demonstrate powerful listening skills. Then you also demonstrated that you are outcome focused. This particular question is very important. In fact, I really don't know any major interview now, uh, especially if it's for maybe a mid management role or senior management, where you will not get this type of question. All right. Or if your job or your role involves project management, working with project teams, most likely you are going to get this question. So what do you want to do? You want to show that you can calmly manage conflict. You want to show that you have powerful listening skills. You want to show that you are outcome focused. All right. What does that mean for us? Well, the team that is interviewing you, that you are a very good team player. It also shows that you have strong interpersonal skills and that you are suitable for collaborative environment. All right. Please, I want you to, we are running this webinar because we want to help a lot of candidates. I cannot tell you how many extremely powerful and good candidates that were interviewed, and after they left the meeting, somebody said, oh, he's not confident. Oh, that candidate looks like he was reading from a script. All right. Maybe you just copy the answer somewhere and you are trying to read it out. You have to rehearse it. You have to rehearse it. These things are very important. So let's go to question 7. These are question 7, what you may likely get in your interview. What is your greatest achievement? All right. What is your greatest achievement? You want to, um, what is your greatest achievement? Okay, what are we trying to measure here? We want to measure success in outcomes or effort. Do you want to measure success in outcome or effort? And I'm going to tell you this today. As far as the corporate world is concerned, we don't reward effort, we reward the result. If your boss sends you to the market and says, please get me some oranges, and you got there, and truthfully, there were no oranges, and then you come back and tell your boss, oh, I didn't find oranges. Or let's say your boss asked you to get lemon, all right? You didn't find some lemon. Then you come back and tell your boss after 1 hour you didn't get lemon. Then your boss, I mean, let me just tell you, there was a particular story I heard about somebody who kept asking his boss at the office, I've been working here for so long. You refuse to promote me. This other person has been here for just 2 years and you promoted him. What is my offense? The person and the boss said, okay, let's talk about it. So he asked two of them to do to this story I was telling you about buying lemons. Okay, you go to the market, get me some fruits, get me lemons. Then he tells the other person that was promoted, you go also get me some lemons. He gave them the same task. I want you to imagine any assignment you could be given in your office by your manager or your managers. So that person that was complaining came back after like 30 minutes and said, "Oh, the market was not fully opened. There were no orange, and he couldn't find lemons. So he wanted to come and give his boss some feedback. Then maybe later he will go back and check for lemons." The other brother that was promoted did not come back on time. So by the time he came back, he had lemons. Then the boss asked him, "Where did you, how come you were able to get lemons?" So he also went to the same market. He went to the same market his colleague went to and realized there was no lemon. The market wasn't fully opened. Then he decided, if I go back and tell my boss there are no lemons, I have not solved the problem. Instead of going back, let me take a bike to another market up front. He took the extra effort, went to this other market, and he saw a woman who was just opening a stall. He got lemons and he brought them back. So the boss said, "What you are telling me is that you have to go an extra mile." He said, "Yes." He now told the other person, "Do you now know why I promoted him? This person was not here when you came to me to complain. All right? But I put two of you to the same test. If you have the mindset of, oh, once it's 5 o'clock, I'm leaving the office. I'm not going to till tomorrow. No extra mile. Number one, you will not have a lot of achievements. Your boss will see you as someone that is not reliable. All right. So when you are being asked, what are your greatest achievements in your career? Please don't mention something that is casual, unrelated to the role you are applying for. Don't, if you have worked in a farm before where you had to kill chickens every day, but now you are applying for the role of an accountant, please, I beg you, don't tell us how many chickens you killed. We are not interested. It has nothing to do with the role you are applying for. Please, whatever you do in that interview must be related. Even if they try to trick you, you must ensure that whatever you do there is related to the role you are applying for. This is so important. Don't go ahead saying things like, uh, I achieved a lot. I was a team leader of about 20. I led a team of 20 people. In my time, we did not have any fraud. Those are good responses, but they are generic. Nobody wants generic answers. Okay, it shows your generic answers shows your inability to assess impact. How impactful is your role, your position, that role, that desk, that office that you are given? What impact did you make on that desk? Talk to us about your own impact. Don't tell us about your team. Tell us about your own impact. Tell us how you are able to mobilize the team and tell us what they achieved. When you are talking about your greatest achievement, you must have evidence. All right? You can say something like, "Oh, my greatest achievement in my current place of work was leading a project that increased uh, customer satisfaction by 30%. How did I achieve that? By redesigning the process and by team training. I trained my team members on the products we are selling or we are marketing. We restructured the team. We did this, we did that." You must give a lot of specifics. Your answer shows that you are able to quantify your impact. There's a ROI, return on investment. You show leadership. We want to see your answer reflect leadership and initiative. Business relevance. When you talk to the recruiters, and I want you to know that in every interview, at some point, someone in your team in the department you are recruiting for will also be in that interview. So you want to show relevance. There's someone there who is going to be technical, and we understand if you are lying or saying the truth. Please, when you are asked what your greatest achievement is, you must mention specific projects. You must tell us what the project achieved. Was it a 30% return on investment? Or did it save your company losses? Maybe they were having losses in a particular area, and your achievement there was that you were able to block all the loopholes. You must be specific to this effect. So, what is the implication here? The implication is that you are result oriented, you are a high performer, and you understand value creation. Now, let me tell you point 8. I promised you we'll be having 10 points here. How do you undo pressure at work? How do you undo pressure at work? All right. Oh, somebody said, I never get stressed. I know myself. I walk like a horse. That's the wrong answer. How do you handle pressure at work? Oh, I just take a stroll. Sometimes I just shut down my laptop or my PC, and I come back the next day and I continue. So most times the candidates could be tempted to give unrealistic answers, poor coping mechanisms, poor coping insight. All right. So you want to be very careful. That's why I said to us at the beginning of this webinar, you have to rehearse your answers, you have to practice them so that at the end of the day, you make a lot of sense. Now, if you are joining us here for the first time, or maybe you are in our last training and you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please do us a favor and subscribe, because we are going to be talking a lot about um, everything that goes on in the office. And for those of you who might have noticed, we changed the name of the channel to from my name to Corporate Confidential. So please just note that you may want to go back and rewatch the videos. You need to know what you are looking for. So we've changed the name. It's no more my name. Dr. Gbenga Shafe is now Corporate Confidential. All right. So please go ahead and subscribe if you have not done so. All right. And you can also hit the like button so that YouTube can send it to other people. Okay. So when you are posed or a question like this is thrown at you, how do you handle pressure or stress? You know, you don't want to say things like, I never get stressed in Jesus' name. Oh, I know who I am. In my village, we work from morning till night. I can even work overnight. I don't need sleep. We don't want unrealistic answers. You want to say something like, I handle pressure by prioritizing my tasks. You see, by staying organized and communicating early when support is needed. Are you seeing that response? This helped me stay more productive even during peak period. Why is this answer important, and why is it a strong one? You acknowledge that stress is real. You show your coping strategies, that sometimes you ask for help. You are not someone who can do everything. You demonstrate responsibility. So what are you telling your recruiters? That you are resilient under pressure. You are reliable in demanding roles. You have low burnout risk. I spoke to one of my friends who was doing very well in the tech space as a content creator. And then at some point he stopped putting up videos, and I asked him, what's the problem? And he said, burnout. I got burnt out. I couldn't continue. All right. So burnout is real. Okay. So here you are not denying that these things are real. You are now telling us about your strategies for managing and coping with stress. Again, you will need to rehearse and practice these questions so that when they are posed at you or to you, you are able to answer correctly. All right. Number 9, we are almost there. Number 9, if you have a question, because we're supposed to be done in the next 5-10 minutes. So maybe if you have a question, one or two, we'll just take it so you can put them in the chat room. All right. Number 9, what do you know about our company? I remembered when I was asked this question. Looking back now, I messed everything up. All right. What do you know about our company? I remember then I told the recruiters, I don't know anything. No. I just remembered the name of the CEO. So I mentioned her name. I said, I know that the bank, they get a lot of awards. I just noticed they were laughing. That this young boy does is just who he is. I couldn't even hide it. All right. I didn't know anything about my employer. I didn't know anything. And I just said, I said, I don't know anything. But that's the wrong answer. If you do that in 2026, no, you are not going to survive that interview. All right. Don't say something like, not much, not much, or I don't know anything about the company. So how did you apply? Okay. It is your duty to even investigate, find out about the company. You don't even know what they do there. Maybe it's human beings they sell. You need to find out before you go and submit an application there. Do your research. It's very important. All right. So maybe you want to adopt this formula when answering this question. All right. I know your organization focuses on innovation and community impact. Okay. If the company is an IT company, you want to uh, tweak it a bit. All right. I know your organization focuses on innovation, building software as a service, providing user-friendly applications for corporate organizations, etc., etc. Your recent expansion into digital services aligns with my experience and career goals. All right. You want to be able to show how their expansion, their growth fits into your career plans. You need to be able to show that. All right. Why is this answer very strong? Why is this answer very strong? Because it shows that you are research minded, you have a lot of interest in the company, you are able to connect company mission to yourself. It signals that you are a serious person. If you apply to an organization and you are not able to make that connection, you don't know what they do, you don't know how vast their business is, you don't know if they have subsidiaries, then you are not going to pass this question. All right. Finally, this is the question that kills most people that I know, destroys them completely. All right. This particular question is where a lot of candidates drop off. How many of you can guess what that question is? If you know what that question is, I give you a gift. This question is why many people fail the interview. But they don't know. They think they are being sincere. You don't want to make a mistake. Most people fail this particular section because they don't want to make a mistake. Please, who has an idea what this last question is? Let me give it to you here. Do you have any questions for us? Somebody I interviewed, um, recently, the moment I said, "Do you have any questions for me?" It was a very quick answer. No. The no was so strong. Eh, all right. Uh-huh. Someone said salary expectation. All right. Do you have any questions for us? All right. Someone says no. The moment you say no, you are out. What is the implication of the wrong answer here? It shows that you have a very passive mindset. You have low curiosity. You sound like a desperate person. You just want the job. You don't want to say anything that will make you look like you are confrontational or you are difficult or put you out in a bad light. You should have researched the organization. You may want to ask questions about their work-life balance. Ask something that focuses on maybe like their products and like what's their turnover and stuff like that. But you cannot say no. And please don't ask the interviewer if she's married. Okay? Don't ask the person if she's married. All right? She may look young, but she has the power to fail you. Even if she may look like your sister, but please, I beg you, don't be tempted, because a lot of people I speak of things I know, because the person is very warm and very nice. You now ask, oh, please, if you don't mind, are you married? Are you here to marry a wife, or are you here to get a job? You have not even gotten the letter, you're already looking for a wife. Hmm? Sure, you see the problem you have caused now. So I want to give you an idea of what you can do here, what the kind of questions you can ask. Number one, you can say, okay, what does success looks like in this role within the first 6 months? You see, you are already thinking about resuming and getting the job done. You are asking um, your recruiter, the HR manager, or the panel, what does success, what how would you define a successful a person or officer in this role, in the first 6 months? Peradventure I was to get this role, how would I be measured in the first 6 months? That's a very good question. In fact, this is a question you should ask. If you have an interview coming up this week or next week, you probably want to ask them this question. Number two, you could ask, what opportunities exist for professional development in this organization? All right. Or you may ask, do you have a professional LMS platform where uh, employees are able to take professional courses? Like you can say, oh, like in my current organization, we have access to the Certified Business Analysis program, um, Kanban, professional program, Scrum Master, you know, you talk PMP, project management courses, professional. You can talk about different things. So you want to ask, oh, do we have that culture here? Don't ask personal questions. Don't ask questions like, when I resume here, do I have to wear a tie? No, don't wear a tie now. Wear your singlet and resume. Then you know what's going to happen to you on the first day. When I got my job in the bank, I wore a black shirt. I wore a black shirt. Nobody told me that you don't wear black shirt as a banker. And my manager was so angry. He said, where is this man from? And I told him. He said, okay, I will forgive you for today. He said, but we are not mourning here. Nobody has died. But you cannot wear black shirt and wear pink tie, you know. So maybe that's good for your choir, but it's not good for for the bank. All right. So don't ask questions like, can I wear black shirt? Ask a question that is relevant to the organization and to the role. All right. Now, I want you to seriously go back and rewatch this video. Consider everything that has been said here. Okay. Uh, okay. So someone is asking, what are the likely questions someone can expect in a second or third stage of an interview? So I'm going to tell you, most likely, depending on the organization, your second level interview is going to be a mix of technical and HR. So you're likely going to have one or two persons from the department where you have applied to or where you are going to be working, and they are going to push a lot of technical questions to you. So you need to be prepared. Also, let me mention that when you are being interviewed, you are going to be interviewed across a section of your questions will cut across different sections. Number one, your questions will cut across the behavioral. It will also cut across strategic. It will cut across technical. It will cut across uh, competence. No, no, no. Yes, competence. So we are going to review so many aspects, and you want to make sure you do well at least on every level. By the time you get to the third stage, most likely you might be meeting with the MD of the organization. All right. I want to sincerely hope that you have gotten some value tonight. I will do my best to always come up with a lot of relevant topics that affect every one of us in the workplace. But the goal is that if we continue to train ourselves in this way, you can actually plan your career or determine your career progress. You can actually tell yourself, if I keep doing this, do this, I can land my dream job in the next 2 3 months. You can actually go into the interview session a little more confident. So you already know a bit of the technical aspect of the interview, but now you are looking at the leadership, strategic, technical aspects, behavioral aspects of the interview. So you most likely are going to come up with very fantastic scores. So please do me a favor, if you are still here, please send this link. Um, okay, I'm seeing a question here. If you don't have a response to a question when asked, can you, in turn, during when you are asked, if you have a question pose the question back? Ah, if I understand what you are saying, maybe what you are saying is that if you are, can you pose a question back to the interviewer? Please don't do it. You are the one on the hot seat. When it's time to ask your own questions, please ask questions that are specific to you. That shows that you are very thoughtful, you are a very deep thinker, and you are not trying to play a smart game. This is very, very important. All right. If you say something like, "Oh, I'm going to look it up. I don't have a response now," you are sincere, but you might have actually shot yourself in the leg. All right. Sometimes if the question is a technical question specific to your role, it's all right to say you don't have the full details. It's all right to say you don't have the full details. Okay. Don't lie, because if you lie, there's somebody on that panel that knows that you are lying. But if the questions are behavioral or HR based questions, the questions I have addressed with us tonight are the HR based questions. Okay. But if the question being posed to you is a technical question that is specific to that role or to that career path, if you don't know the answer, don't waste their time, because they will see you as being trying to be clever and you still didn't get the answer right. So that will even pull down your scores. All right. So I really do hope we'll be back here again, maybe in another 1 week, hopefully. And we are going to be putting out some videos. Some of our videos will come out. They will not be live videos, but we'll still record and upload it here. But I do hope that some of the matters we have addressed tonight, or the ones we have addressed in our previous videos, would have helped you a lot. And when you do land your dream job, I'll be looking forward to shake your hand. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. I look forward to hearing from you next time when we'll come online. Thank you and have a nice evening.